Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today's review is going to be all about one smart squirrel. I've got one smart squirrel and well, I think I fixed this squirrel's wagon right now because the video is going to be all about, well, let's go back in the past and I want to show you something that, well, I built this last year, this squirrel proof feeder system where I run a cable from one side of my shop to the shed on the other side of the property. And all through the winter and everything, well, there was no squirrels could walk along this guide wire. And well, it always takes one squirrel, right? So I found this squirrel and it was on my feeder. And I wondered, how did that squirrel get there? And at first I thought that it kind of jumped up in the air and landed on top or something. No. I watched this squirrel and it went along the guide wire and it was hanging upside down and going like this all the way along until it got to the feeder. Well, I fixed its wagon. So I'm going to show you in the past here, this little bit of a clip here on the feeder that I designed. And we'll go outside and I'll show you how I fixed it because I waited until I got the right time to actually catch this squirrel trying to go along the wire, and I'll show you what I did to resolve it. It's about 4 feet off the ground. The wire itself, you can see there's a wire going here. I got it going from each side of my buildings here, and I made it low enough so that I could actually just come over and put the seeds in no problem. Okay, so there's where we start right here on the edge of my shed, and it goes over, and we got this rig right here, and it goes all the way along, and I've just got a couple of feeders here hanging off it, and we go over to this end, and I'll show you that end right there. Okay, so there we are right there, and all that is a dollar store plate. And I'm going to take that down and I'm going to show you exactly how I built this. Okay, so there it is right there. All I did was cut the zip ties off. And all this is just a plastic plate. And on the back side here, you can see I used a hot glue gun. I put it all the way around except the slot. So you could see where I've cut the plate on the table saw, or whatever you want to use. You could just melt a slot down here if you wanted to, or use any tool. And I put a couple of washers on the bottom so it makes it heavy. And when I cut this hole through the center, what I did was I made it a little bit higher than the middle of the plate. So it's a little bit offset. So it always hangs down like this. So I will tell you something what happened. So this is the way it's in here. And all I have to do now is I just slip it on the guide wire. It just drops right on. I put a zip tie over top to hold it on there, which it works great. And so the squirrel come along here, went to the plate, and it'll turn on it. It'll turn like this a bit. And as soon as it turns a bit, the squirrel gets freaked out because it can't jump on the other side. It can't even see the wire. So this is absolutely squirrel proof, 100%. And I just used the hot glue here just to reinforce the plate and along the edges here on both sides. And that's it right there. So I'll show you what I did on the outside. And all I do is I place this on now. I put a couple of new zip ties on. And I'll show you what I got out there. And it's so easy just to hold it because you wouldn't want the wind catch a hold of this and blow it up and down your line, right? So let's go out there, let's take a look at that. So that's all I got there is just a couple of pieces of rubber hose, and I put a couple of zip ties on there, and I cut a slot in the hose so it would fit over top, and then I put a zip tie. Now I can just put that plate on there and then push the either end in towards the plate so it can't move left and it can't move right. So as you can see on this one, yeah, this is the way it goes right here. And I tell you, the squirrel will come along here and it can't get no further. It can't see the wire on the other side, and I seen it just try to just lean over a bit here, and of course this all starts to turn and the squirrel is defeated. So I just used a little chunk of this electrical PVC conduit, and you know, really when it comes down to it, I really think a lot of people could make one of these. Just take your time, whatever tools you do have, and I cut the slot on the bottom on my table saw. Depending on what you got for tools, I think a lot of people could use this, and it just drops on. Put a couple of zip ties on and it stays there, and it will rotate when the squirrel tries to come along. So I think I finally resolved this. I had a feeling in the back of my mind that somehow or some way the squirrel's going to be able to get there sometime, and this resolved it. So I'm going to have a winter coming up, and no squirrels on my feeder. So thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe and see some interesting things you just might not see somewhere else. Cheers.